Hi, I'm Adam and I'm 40. Hi, my first class was in April 2016, so we'd lived down south for about 10 years and we moved back up in 2014, and I'd been looking for a club for ages. But I remember my first class because it was at the old academy. Coach Keeley was there, she did my induction, she gave me a warm welcome, and it was a great experience. I think I decided on the day that I would be on the black belt journey. I've got a photograph that I took of the black belt journey with all of the belts in progression order that I posted to social media, and every year it gives me a reminder on my anniversary. I knew I wanted to be a black belt somewhere between 1984 and 1991 initially. So I grew up watching films like The Karate Kid and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I loved all of that. So that was probably the first time I ever thought about it. But in terms of my journey with Excel, the first time I took a class, I felt right at home at the club, and I knew I wanted to go all the way through to black belt. So before I started at Excel, I was starting to feel a bit unfit. We'd moved back from London in 2014, and it was 2016 before I found my place at Excel. I'd started to feel unfit. I hadn't been training. I've got quite a stressful job, and martial arts for me is a release for that. So I was quite low in terms of my mental health as well. And getting back to training has been really great for both of those. So I'm feeling fitter and more mentally healthy than I've done in years. So since training at Excel, I'm fitter and less stressed than I've been in years. But one of the best things that I've gained from it as well has been kind of the friends and teammates that I've made over the last 7 years as well. It's a really welcoming club, it's a friendly club, and I always feel right at home when I get here. So when I get my black belt, how will I feel? I think for the first 5 minutes, relief that I just made it through the grading and that it's all over. For the next 5 minutes, I'll probably feel quite a lot of pride. But then, me being me, I think I'll immediately start to think about what do I need to do for my first degree. When I think about the other black belt teammates in the club, everyone always stands that little bit taller in the first class back after grading, so I think it takes that few days for it all to sink in, so I suspect I'll be just that little bit taller when I get back on the mats. What has it taken to get here? My journey's been a bit more meandering than some of my colleagues, so I retook my cycle belt test after injuring myself. Then COVID hit the world, and I just really struggled to engage with things like online training, unfortunately. So I fell a bit behind in terms of my fitness and my practice. But then when we finally got to get back on the mats, when the world opened up a little bit more, I worked hard, I got my fitness back up so that I was ready to grade for my black belt, just in time for my 40th birthday, and then I was injured again. So here we are, I've finally done it. So what does it take to become a black belt? When I look around at the team, I think we all share a few qualities: dedication, perseverance, and that quality of always wanting to keep learning and getting better. And I think whether we admit it or not, there's just a little bit of masochism in there as well. So actually this question is one I struggled with a little bit, things that I've learned from Excel. I think in terms of new things, I'm not sure, but one of the things I love about Excel is how well the ethos of the club just aligns to my own. So it's all in the student creed for me, really. It's trying your best, being respectful to others, being dedicated and motivated. I've got a 6-year-old son, Benjamin, who trains at the club as well, and I hope he sees me aspiring to those qualities and develops them himself. What am I excited to learn when I'm a black belt? Well, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, I've taken my first step into a larger world. So for me, black belt isn't the destination, it's actually kind of the start of the journey. So I think of it as I'm now no longer a novice. But when I look around at the coaches, at the other black belts, I've got so much that I still want to learn and ways that I can improve and apply what I've learned, actually. So that's what excites me. But it wouldn't hurt as well if we do a bit more weapons training so I can look good wielding my lightsaber. So they say it takes a village to raise a child. It's taken a village for me to go along my black belt journey as well. And along my black belt journey as well. And without wanting to turn it into an Oscar speech, there's a few people I'd like to thank, starting with the coaches for all their help and support. I couldn't have done it without their tuition and their guidance, so thank you for that. Also my teammates, just for keeping pushing me, especially on those days when it's cold and wet and you don't really want to come and train, but they make sure and push you and make sure you do your best. Also my family for supporting me when I was injured and, you know, giving me that mental strength to come back and keep pushing for the goal I've wanted for so long. And just lastly as well, the extended support team of my chiro and my physio, who stitched me back together so that I could actually come back stronger and achieve my goal.